Welcome to Lessons from the Top 1%. We don't just talk about success. We break down how the world's most effective people think, move, and build differently. Built different daily. In today's episode, we're going to dive into one of the most powerful tools in the world that every successful person has in their toolkit. That is, the art of storytelling. Now let's be honest. When most people hear the word storytelling, they think of fluff, entertainment, fiction. But for the top 1%, storytelling is survival. It's not soft. It's the most powerful weapon in the room. Because here's the truth. People don't remember data. They remember how you made them feel. They don't follow facts. They follow stories. You can have all the credentials, all the experience, all the logic. But if you can't emotionally move people, you'll always be replaceable. Oprah once said, "The most powerful tool you'll ever have is your story." It's not just what happened to you. It's what you choose to do with it. That's what separates the greats from the forgotten. They don't just know their story. They've crafted it, polished it, woven it into everything they touch. Think about it. Elon Musk doesn't sell electric cars. He sells the story of a future we can believe in. Shaquille O'Neal didn't just endorse products. He shared stories that made people laugh, trust, connect, and then he sold them. The story is the bridge between you and impact. So let's break this down. Why do the top 1% rely on storytelling? Because story moves hearts before it moves minds. Because story bypasses resistance. Because when someone connects to your journey, they don't just buy your product, they buy into your mission. Whether it's pitching investors, rallying a team, creating a brand, the 1% always start with a narrative. They know this isn't about perfection, it's about connection. Your story is your strategy. Your story is your leverage. If you can't tell it powerfully, someone else will rewrite it for you. So, now that we understand why the top 1% master storytelling, let's talk about how they actually do it. There's a blueprint, and it's not accidental. The 4 core elements of a powerful story. 1. Relatability. Start with something the audience knows, not a highlight reel, but a moment of truth. Pain, fear, failure. When you show people you've been where they are, they'll follow you to where you're going. 2. Conflict. What was the obstacle? What did you struggle with? Without tension, there's no transformation. People don't resonate with perfection. They connect with resilience. 3. Resolution. What changed? What was the breakthrough? The decision? The moment? Give them the shift. The aha they can apply themselves. And 4, bigger vision. What's the greater meaning behind the story? Why does it matter beyond you? The best stories don't just reflect the teller, they inspire the listener to change their own life. Now let's talk about how you can build your own story starting today. The Built Different Blueprint, storytelling first. Mine your moments. Think back on the real turning points in your life. Times you were scared, underestimated, or stuck. What lesson did you take from it? Start there. Secondly, get specific. Vague stories are forgettable. Details are what make people feel something. Give them the moment, the room, the silence, the question, the look. 3, own the imperfect. You don't have to be the hero. Sometimes you were the problem. Sometimes you failed. Tell it anyway, because truth builds trust. Finally, end with power. Don't trail off. Tie it back to a clear message, belief, or action they can take. Let them walk away changed. Here's a recent real-world example. There was a young founder trying to raise capital. His pitch? Clean. His deck? Impressive. His numbers? Solid. But nobody was buying in. One investor pulled him aside and said, "You've built something great, but you're pitching a company. We want to believe in a person." So the founder rewrote his story. He didn't lead with the product. He led with where he came from, his family's struggle, the moment he realized the problem he had to solve, why he had to win, not just for money, but for meaning. That next round? Oversubscribed, fast, because the product was good, but the story made people believe. Here's the truth. You're always telling a story. Every time you post, every time you speak, every time you show up. The question is, are you telling a story that moves people, or are you just talking? Because in every boardroom, feed, interview, conversation, people don't follow the best resume. They follow the strongest narrative. And if you don't know your story, you'll be cast in someone else's. This is Built Different Daily, and this was episode 5 of the Lessons from the Top 1% series. See you in the next episode. Stay safe. Subscribe if you're done waiting for permission. You're built different. Act like it.